For improved system performance, long-term financial returns, and less risk on your PV projects, look to the proven performance of DuPont Materials and Solutions.
Hello and welcome to another PV-packed newscast. Coming up, Germany installs 543 megawatt of PV in July. Suntech sales increase 15% but make big revisions to full-year guidance. And TSMC Solar achieves a 14.2% efficient CIGS module. New installation figures show that there were more than 12,000 PV installations in Germany in July, adding 543 megawatts in additional PV capacity. After installing a record amount of PV in the first half of the year, the latest figures released by the German Federal Network Agency show a continuation of the trend. In total, Germany has installed around 4.9 gigawatts of new PV capacity this year, a record amount. In the same 7-month period last year, just 2.3 gigawatts were installed. Overall, Germany has more than 29 gigawatts of installed PV capacity, making it one of the leading European countries in solar power. Suntech Power Holding has released only preliminary financial results for the second quarter of the year due to the ongoing saga over its claims of fraud regarding its involvement in GSF. The company said that PV product shipments surpassed previous guidance of a 20% increase to approximately a 33% improvement over the prior quarter. Revenue was reported to be $471 million, up 15%, while the company posted a negative gross margin of 10%, primarily due to a cash inventory provision of $76 million. Despite the boost to quarterly sales, Suntech expects shipments of PV products in the third quarter of 2012 to be relatively flat with the second quarter, while overall shipments for the full year were revised downwards to between 1.8 and 2 gigawatt. Previously, Suntech had guided shipments to be between 2.1 and 2.5 gigawatt. In related news, Suntech faces more trouble in Italy after a court there reportedly filed a lawsuit against the company's subsidiary GSF. Reuters has revealed that the lawsuit alleges the investment fund illegally built solar farms in the country in order to exploit Italy's subsidies. Under the lawsuit, 5 of the fund's subsidiaries have been formally charged and accused of abusing the approval processes in order to gain subsidies. Specifically, the subsidiaries are said to have failed to obtain the correct permits, and in some cases, they would confirm the completion of construction prematurely in order to meet a deadline to qualify for the subsidies. The subsidies allow the firms to sell their electricity at above market prices for 20 years. The lawsuit also claims that Suntech failed to properly monitor the fund's business practices and questions the extent to which it supervised the fund's activities. Moreover, it alleges that Suntech failed to disclose all potential problems concerning GSF's financial matters, keeping its shareholders in the dark about its troubles in the country. Suntech owns an 80% stake in the investment fund. So now it's becoming possible to form a picture of what the 2012 PV shipment rankings will look like at the end of the year. According to NPD Solarbuzz, the landscape of global PV module manufacturing has changed significantly in the past few quarters, with gross margins in the single-digit percentage range at best. So, in such a difficult environment for all upstream PV manufacturers, the question is, who will prevail at the end of the year and notch up the top ranking slot for the most megawatts of module shipments? Based on existing company guidance and NPD Solarbuzz estimates of projected module shipments, the new top 10 list seems more like a reshuffle of last year, with JA Solar replacing Kyocera at the 10th position being the only notable change. This change is said to be important as it shows that JA Solar has now successfully repositioned from a dominantly pure-play cell supplier to a leading PV module supplier and avoided the inevitable squeeze of being a legacy pure-play midstream player in an overcrowded low ASP industry. It's Yingli that may capture the headlines by the end of 2012 by taking the #1 position for the first time ever, a position that was previously occupied by Suntech and before that, First Solar. cautious approach to module sales accounts, coupled to market uncertainty in the US and China, has dampened JA Solar's full-year shipment guidance after forecasting third-quarter shipments to be lower than the second quarter. The company reported revenue for the second quarter of $284 million, an increase of 12.8% despite cost reductions. JA Solar reported a net loss of $72.1 million for the quarter as declining ASPs continued to impact margins. Shipments topped 418 megawatt, in line with the low end of previous guidance of 420 megawatt, and an increase of 14.2% from 366 megawatt in the first quarter of this year. For the third quarter of 2012, the company expects total cell and module shipments to be between 350 and 370 megawatts. For the full year, the company expects total cell and module shipments to be between 1.5 and 1.8 gigawatts, compared with the previously provided full-year guidance of 1.8 to 2 gigawatts. And finally, TSMC Solar has successfully manufactured 14.2% efficient CIGS modules using its R&D and pilot production line at its highly automated manufacturing facility located in Taichung, Taiwan. These panels have entered the UL and IEC certification process, with availability expected early in 2013. PV Tech recently caught up with Stephen McKerney, TSMC Solar head of worldwide sales, to discuss their production plans.
We are shipping product. We basically got our fab up and running late last year. We've been fine-tuning it, getting the tooling working where we want it to be. And our shipping product we started in Q2 of this year, and basically have a reasonable quantity of product coming off the line as we ramp it up to speed.
Now, a key challenge for thin film, including CIGS, is obviously getting the cell efficiencies up, the module efficiency up, so that it can, clearly compete with the way crystalline has gone. Can you give us an idea, what's going on as far as the efficiency of the module is concerned?
We are right now, we've got about a 12% efficient product. We've got a 130-watt module. And it's, as you point out, we recognize certainly it's lower than crystalline. We have a very extensive R&D effort at how do we increase that and through production changes, through process changes, and get that efficiency up as quickly as possible. It's certainly something we recognize, and that combined with our temperature coefficient advantages, we think enables us to be competitive with crystal silicon.
Well, that's all we have time for this week. Don't forget you can keep up to date with all the latest news by following us on Twitter @PV_Tech. Thanks for watching.